Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Walk with Neil, where we talk about leadership, technology, and building great teams. For those of you joining for the first time, I'm Neil Bay, an experienced engineering leader operating in a fractional CTO capacity. I bring startup speed, enterprise scale, helping companies build smarter, more scalable tech foundations. So, how do we motivate our teams with clear direction while still having the managerial knobs and levers to keep everything aligned with corporate goals? The answer to that is OKRs, which stand for Objectives and Key Results. In today's walk, I'm going to break down key concepts that may help you be more efficient with OKRs. This video is for leaders, managers, and department heads who want to understand not just how to set goals, but how to drive alignment and impact across their teams. First, let's dive into what is an OKR. The O in OKR is objectives. Objectives are what you want to achieve. They're directional and should inspire action, and more often than not, they're ambitious. Key results are how you measure progress. They're specific, time-bound, and ideally measurable. I like to think of them as tied to initiatives with clear outcomes. I use a weight loss analogy to explain OKRs, and let's say the objective is to lose 20 pounds. The key result initiative on your OKR might be eating healthy 5 days a week, going to the gym 3 times a week, and the overall metric related to this is losing 20 pounds by the end of the quarter. It's clear, it's actionable, and measurable. But here's where I might differ a bit from conventional thinking. Not every key result initiative needs a strict metric. Even in my weight loss analogy, the desired outcome isn't always tied to the initiative. And I may get a lot of debate on this point, as measurable is considered foundational to OKRs. I subscribe to the mindset that some outcomes can be binary or subjective opinion on what percentage got completed. And even that is still incredibly valuable. For example, if your key result initiative is to implement a new team process that reduces friction, just hearing that, there might not be an easy number to associate to that, but you do need clear indicators of success. If the goal is to reduce friction, eventually in the quarter, you may be able to drill down what success looks like. Maybe it's fewer escalations, quicker resolutions, or maybe team morale improved. Also, if you focus too heavily on metrics, you sometimes create incentives to game the system or create problems elsewhere. For example, you might hit sales targets, but as a result, sacrifice customer experience. Or you push code out fast, but as a result, the code quality drops. OKRs ideally should be about driving impact, not blindly measuring outputs. If you want a good starting point of how to frame OKRs, Google's Rework website is a fantastic resource and has templates for building out effective OKRs. It's really worth a look. One other area of potential improvement I see too often is setting OKRs on a yearly cycle. A lot can change in a year. Market shifts, tech advancements, priorities evolve. Quarterly reviews of OKRs allow for adjustments, keeping goals relevant and aligned with immediate business needs. So think of it like sailing, like these many boats I have behind me. You don't set your course once and just hope for the best to get to your destination. You adjust with the wind, correct the sails, and make sure you're still heading in the right direction over time. If you only check your direction once a year, you're probably way off course. Don't be afraid to make mid-cycle adjustments in the same quarter if the business landscape changes. OKR should be resilient, not rigid. That should tell you should also meet often with your team to review OKR progress. Another thing I can also see is leadership setting too many objectives. It's tempting to cover everything, but it can also spread your team too thin. Too many objectives at once can overburden your teams. If you're setting too many OKRs, it's often a symptom of unclear priorities or inexperienced use of OKRs. While you may have a long-term strategy, leaders should identify what are the baby steps we aim to achieve in a quarter towards that bigger picture. OKRs are a leadership opportunity to recalibrate focus. If you're setting more than 5 objectives on any one department in a quarter, you might be guaranteeing mediocrity across all of them. So figure out what's important for the now to get you to the bigger win later. I should also be clear, not all key result initiatives come top down. Your team should not only be empowered to identify their own key result initiatives, but also be actively involved in discussions around what truly drives impact. This builds ownership and alignment from the ground up. The real power of OKRs isn't just about accomplishment, it's about alignment. It connects leadership vision with what the team is actually working on. When done right, every team member knows exactly how their work ties into the company's bigger picture. Now, lastly, let's talk about performance. OKRs are an incredible performance tracking tool, but I should be clear, they are not best used as the only performance tool. They create a record of accomplishment, which is great, making performance reviews objective and transparent. But remember, not completing OKRs isn't necessarily poor performance. We should encourage a culture where we accept failure as learning opportunities. I highly recommend the book Measure What Matters by John Doerr, who dives in deep on building out effective OKRs. If you're setting OKRs for your team, I challenge you to look at them differently. Focus on alignment, not just completion, prioritize what drives impact, and embrace iteration. I've shared some transferable technology objective examples in this text associated with this post. Check them out. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear how you're using OKRs to drive real impact in your team. I'm Neil Bay. Please like, comment, and repost if you learned something valuable from this video, and reach out if you want my input on how to improve your OKR process. This has been Walk with Neil. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.